So, Nate, what a season. What a roller coaster ride you had. Unfortunately, he had two of the biggest bucks he has ever seen in his life in front of him this year in the exact same spot. First one, swing and a miss. Second one, kinda swing and a miss with a hit. Check this out.
So, the story of Godzilla. So, our first encounter with Godzilla was November 2nd. I was actually at a family party for my girlfriend, Haley. And I left early to go sit in the stand, which everybody here knows how that goes. Only had about an hour to hunt, so I snuck in there, had the perfect wind, nice, cool, crisp. It was November 2nd, calm night. And I got in the stand at about 4:15, set up. I did not have the camera with me because I didn't have enough time to get it set up. And about the time that I got situated, hung the bow, I looked to my north, and out of nowhere, this just giant buck stood up with this doe, and I knew right away it was a shooter. Never seen him before. We don't have my camera. No trace of this deer whatsoever until that night. He stayed in the bedding area at about 70 yards, and I was able to get a little bit of cell cam footage of him. It's not great, but it's the best I could do at the time. He stood there for, felt like 45 minutes, but it was probably 10 minutes. Worked his way east with the doe, hot on her, locked on her. And, I could tell right away it's a buck that I wanted to shoot. If we back up about a month prior, I had an encounter with another buck that I missed on October 12th. In generally the same area, did the same thing right out of the bedding thicket. Came into 30 yards and I blew the shot again like this one. So
I'm sick to my stomach, man.
What's going on?
I can't find any arrow. I can't find any blood.
take this as a learning experience. Don't do what I did. The whole month I told myself if I got another opportunity, another shot, I have to make it worth it. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. You'll see the footage. So this deer that night, like I said, he was locked on a doe, worked east, and ended up going south, out of my life. So I thought forever. Texted all the guys. I said I just saw a giant. It didn't happen. He stayed at 60 yards in the thicket. Not a shot anybody wants to take. And I thought that was it. So he stayed in my mind, obviously, for the next week. And November 6th, I got back in the stand, evening sit, calm day again, same wind, perfect wind. And I was actually texting Billy, and I said, man, I haven't seen anything tonight. And as soon as I sent that text, I looked up, and about 400 yards off across the soybean field, I just see this rack running at me, and I didn't know instantly it was him until he got closer. I had plenty of time to get the camera set up, plenty of time to get myself calmed down, get the nerves right. It took him about 15 minutes to work across, straight to me across this dirt field, freshly cut. Got into where I actually saw him the night on the 2nd, and I thought he was going to do the same thing and just cut me and continue south, but he came right in. You could see him in the footage. He's checking wind. He knew something was a little goofy. I don't know if he was looking for does or what, but in the footage you see me draw early, but like I said, that's because I thought he was just going to cut and continue on into the cornfield, and he turns and beelines right at me, and I'm at full draw for probably 2 minutes, and then he just turns west right at me, perfect, exactly what I wanted him to do, and I stopped him with a meh, like any other hunter does, because he was walking, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but he freaked out, and you can see in the footage, he jumps back about I don't know, 3 yards, and it kind of threw me for a loop, and I didn't really have time to settle my pin and kind of think of what just happened. So you can see that I moved a little bit, but I didn't move like I should have, and pulled the release and shot. And as soon as the arrow came out of my bow, I knew was not what I wanted. My Luminac hit right in front of the haunch, and I basically hit that dead zone in front of the haunch, below the backstrap, before the guts. It's a spot that's, we all know 6 inches by 6 inches, if that. And right away knew it was a terrible shot. Watched him bound off into the field and go west into the other thicket across the field. And I called Billy, and I'm like, dude, I just hit a monster. Obviously knew it was a bad shot. Wasn't proud of it.
Matt?
He calls me and said, just relax.
I hit him really far back. I hit him yes, dude. Oh my God, you gotta get here. Oh my God. Dude, I swear to God. I swear on, he ran over to the other woods. East, west.
I'll be there in a couple hours. So I actually went home, put the footage on the big screen, and it was honestly worse than I thought. And we waited a couple more hours, and Billy's dad, Big Bad, came out.
All right, guys. I shot a huge buck about 5 hours ago. At about 4:30, the shot was a little back, so we waited. Found a good blood at the hit, good blood going up until he crossed the field. And I backed out, went home, and waited for Billy and Big Bad to get here. So we're gonna head back out, and I was praying to God, man. It's a big deer.
We got on blood pretty much instantly, and the arrow actually looked pretty good, and the blood trail for the first 40 yards looked decent. And I started to piddle out, and we just started following tracks basically until the other thicket, and never jumped him, or so we thought. Never really found much more blood. So the next day we backed out, and the next day got in touch with Bobby Axe. He brought his dog out and continued the track, and we searched and just never came to fruition. Unfortunately, the story doesn't have a happy ending. He's not on my wall. I learned a hell of a lot from it. I think I had too much time to psych myself out. When I first saw the deer, like I said, it took 15 minutes for him to come in and work his way into a shot. And usually if it happens quick, you don't have time to think about it. You draw back, you shoot, and you're good. But I had so much time to psych myself out and not only think of the things that I could do right, but I thought of all the things I could do wrong. And that's pretty much what happened. So I take it as a big learning experience. I honestly think about it all the time. As you can see how big the deer was. In New York, you don't see that very often, a deer that's that big. I might never get another shot at a deer that size, but chalk it up as a loss, and I know I'll take some flack for it if we end up showing the shot in the actual footage. But if you're an experienced hunter and you say it's never happened to you, that's not true, because it happens to everybody, regardless if you're a good or bad hunter. Obviously not something I'm proud of, but take it with a grain of salt, learn from it, and move on. The good news of the story is I got right back in the saddle, and I believe it was the next morning or the morning following that I got back in the stand, and I actually saw that buck when I tried to rattle. So I knew he was still alive up until that point. And I know somebody got a trail cam picture of him pretty far, actually, from where I had shot him. But so he was alive and doing well. We have not seen him this year. Hoping to, but it's not looking like that's a possibility. So yeah, it is what it is. So it's the same set, same stand that Billy shot his nice one out of this year. I think we saw 32 different different bucks out of that stand. Obviously, this one being the biggest one. But sometimes things go wrong, and you just learn from it, and that's all I'm gonna do. So, redemption this year.
Is this your first time? Hello, everybody. Oh, God, I need to get some sleep. I am tired. Holy crap.
All right, so the story of Big Brow. No,
That's not what
no,
we're talking about.
no. Start over.